Hi there. I am Jen Sullivan, and I am here to talk about course correction with Dave Cordeiro, if I can find out how to do this. Because I am a Luddite, and I don't know. Guest requests. Allow your viewers to request to join you. All right, David, you've got a request to join me, I think? There we... Nope. Not you. Dave, are you watching me? This is going butts up. Okay, let's see, Dave. Why can't I bring you on camera? Why isn't this allowing me to do that? This is a dog's breakfast, as the English say. Yeah, I know you're laughing at me, Dave. For some reason, it doesn't say bring them on camera below you. It does to other people, but not to you. What are you doing? Are you trying to, like, screw me up? Is there? Or is there not? Alright, this is the last thing I'll try. And... No. Why can't I bring you on? I guess there's... Oh, there we go. Okay. That was way more complicated than it needed to be. See, you said you want to be in my video, so I'm bringing you on. Add you, yep. Okay. Right, so it's adding. There we go. Yes! Success! David!
Entirely my fault.
Was it? Because I think it's probably...
No, not really. It was
right.
you. It was
totally
you,
100% me. But I'd like to be able to say it was your fault, so let's just go with that.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I'm using the same tactic. That's the whole thing. So
that
yeah,
works out for the both of us.
No, it was me. It was definitely me.
So, course correction. I was talking about that earlier today.
Yep.
What are your thoughts about this? I know things have been going on a little crazy in your life, and you've been kind of having to readjust. And now
okay, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah, it's just making sounds. Okay, sorry about that. Course correction is another constant because change is a constant.
Yeah.
So that's basically it.
And we're done.
Yeah.
After all of that.
Conversations with the D.
Done.
That's it. That's it. Conversations with a D. That's what a D. Yep.
Right.
That's what happens. Right, that's it.
Good, man. Conversations with a D. A big old D.
Yup, pretty much. So yeah.
Do we want to elaborate? Bring out a little I there,
No.
Pull the I
out. No. Yeah. So, we've all heard this before, like a million times, right? And it's something that I had to get used to. The whole idea of like progress and not perfection, and just reframing failure in general. There's no failure.
Yes.
Per se. There just isn't any, right? Just like, hey, no spoon.
No spoon.
There is no spoon.
There is no spoon. That's my favorite comment of yours.
Yeah, same idea. There is no failure is in your mind. It's how you frame the thing. There is only actions and results.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really, I think, has meaning exactly other than what you bring to it. So if you say it's a failure and the context of your failure is that it's a loss and, it's catastrophic, however you want to
frame it.
Yeah, however you want to frame it, right? Then that's what it is.
Right.
But if say that it's not, well, then it's not. If you truly believe that it's not, then it isn't. It's just constant course correction, or like what Sims, I think, says from Blue Fishing. It's not. It's just an exercise in discovery.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's all. So for me, this reminds me of the meeting we had the other night with you, me, Kevin, Walter. You know, what was it? It's normally affiliate training, but it was something else.
Yeah. That's my answer to that.
Right. Yeah,
Yes.
you sound really
Yeah, it's
enthused and
no.
on board. Yep.
No,
Mhm.
it was normal
Whatever you're
affiliate
saying.
trading, wasn't it? It was I know what you're talking about though. I don't remember what
Yeah.
it was affiliate trading, only it was Walter doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So when the question got asked, what the issue is, there isn't one
Right.
exactly. You know what I mean? There isn't. That's why I was able to say, because there isn't really. Stuff happens, and I get to deal with it. Sometimes better than others, And when there's disturbance, or I allow myself to tell stories that are negative or whatever, then there's failure in that sense. Then there's frustration, then there's whatever. But if I just take it for what it is, which is some kind of experience, and I can pull from it what I can and discard the rest, then it's just, like I said to Walter that night, stumbling blocks become stepping stones, and you just walk out of the hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
No, I know what you mean. It's amazing how all these concepts like that at least I'm learning about. I know that you know a lot more about the stuff than I do, but like how they all fit together, like the idea of framing something, the idea of course correction, the idea of not, failure only being failure when you say it's failure, like all of this stuff goes together. And just plays into each other, plays into itself, I guess, because it's really just one big thing that inter is.
I That's what I see.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I see. They seem to all be related in one way or another. Or as Walter said a while back, the conversation came up between us, he and I, and he said, it's all connected. And I see that. Some of them are, like we've said, a lot of these things are ancient ideas, but they still stand. And in fact, it was Doug that elaborated on that. Yeah, well, what works is what works. So why wouldn't it still be here? Just it's in a slightly different form, different packaging, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still the same fundamental idea.
Mm-hmm.
Failure, whatever thing is in question, gets its meaning from you, not from it.
Right. Exactly. And I guess the thing with course correction then is when you recognize that things aren't going the way that you would like them to, and you are reframing it not as a failure but as a learning experience, that you then pivot and you try something different.
Yes.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. Like, no, go on.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Please use.
Just riding on the coattails of what you said. It's, oh, look, I'm over here now. This is not really where I was intending to be, so I'm gonna go over there now. That's all. And it's just a constant. It's, at least to my experience, that is constant. Again, because change is a constant. So you know what I mean. If you sit in the water, for the most part, you're gonna move,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it is, whatever medium or vehicle you want to talk, whatever you want to use to an analogy to express it, metaphor, whatever. The idea is fundamentally the same. You know what I mean? Change is more or less unavoidable. The best I think you can do is hope to direct it in a way that's useful to you. And I guess that depends ultimately on your big why or your purpose, which in turn gives you your compass, which in turn gives you your day-by-day play, or week, monthly, however you want to break it down. Like in, Gary Keller's The One Thing. In fact, I was listening to it this afternoon. It's funny because you had brought this idea up, and then Darina has been saying many times that I need to re-listen to The One Thing, and of course I do what I do. But she was right.
Yeah.
She was completely right, and I listened to it, and it was tremendously helpful. It's like the third time I've listened to it, but it's, how it is.
Oh yeah, you always have to go back to the books like this. You just have to go back to, because either you forget or you miss something, or there's a million things that you didn't pick up on the first time around because you were thinking about one of the concepts, and then 5 of them passed you by as you were thinking about the first concept.
Absolutely. Isn't that interesting? I heard something about this today, I think. I wish I could remember. Something about when your mind is right, like the classic saying, which whatever, overstated and whatever, when the student is ready, the master will come. I think too, it's a mental thing, and
Mm-hmm.
when your mind is ready, the answer can be there. It has potential to, right? The ground's got to be right. The ground has to be ready to take the seed. And I think, like you said, at the time, last time I listened to it, I pulled certain things up because I was in a certain place. When I listen to it now, the stuff I needed was there. Same stuff was always
Yes.
there. The only difference was me, obviously, right? So
Right.
same thing with failure. The same circumstances are always there. The only difference is me.
Right. How I'm choosing to
My,
interpret them. What I'm primed for,
pretty much.
even, you know.
What's that?
So what I'm primed for, like when you were talking about the book, getting something different from the book because of where you are, you're primed to get something different at that point.
Yes, 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 exactly. Yes,
And what's that?
exactly that. Yes.
What is that? What is that phrase? Reticular activation or something like that? Like,
RAS,
right?
the reticular
Bam,
activation system.
bam,
The RAS.
boom.
Yes. Yeah,
But
reticular activation system. Yeah, when you buy a Toyota, all of a sudden everyone on the road's driving a Toyota.
I literally found out about that concept when I bought a Honda. When I bought my awesome Honda Civic that was blue, and I loved it. And all of a sudden, like one point, I stopped at a light, and there were two of them behind me, two of the exact same car right behind me. I was like, son of a. But reticular activation.
This got said to me the other day too, and I think it relates.
Alton
To a
just
certain
said,
extent.
"Why pay for a philosophy degree when you can get it free for here? Get it for free here." Alton just said.
Only because the philosophy is way
Forget it.
any other reasons, but thank you. So yeah, it was said to me the other day by somebody, and to a certain extent, you don't see what is, you see what you are. Not only psychologically, but physiologically, everything. So to a certain extent, you see what you are. You are someone that's driving a blue Honda Civic. Was it a Civic?
It was a Civic.
So now all of a sudden, there's a million Honda Civics on the road.
Which means there's a million me's, and it makes me feel so much
That's
less
right.
special.
So the variable was you. The thing that changed was you. Before, it was something that, so.
But I mean,
So yeah.
like you're saying, your idea of yourself changes though too.
And then so does what you observe.
Right. Exactly.
Not really, but
But
in your
in your
just
mind,
the one thing.
the one,
It was
the
crazy.
one thing.
It was so right. Yeah, when I don't remember what it was that I was dealing with, thinking about, and then I just was listening, because I'll never read again apparently. But anyway, it was inaudible,
Apparently,
right?
audible is the only thing I can do.
So too many things going on. So I listened to the audible, and it was that there's a chapter on prioritization.
Mm-hmm.
It couldn't have been any better. I can't imagine it having been any better and more useful. So Darina, if you watch this, thank you so much, because you were 100% right. I had to go back and listen to it, and what I got from it this time was very, very different and incredibly useful. And yeah, thank you so much.
So, what about the prioritization thing was useful? What jumped out at you?
The way in which he laid out the whole system. It was so useful on so many levels. I don't remember all the exact details. I'm going to have to take, of course, I took notes. I took notes while driving on audio.
Oh, yes, while driving.
I know.
That just
yeah, but that's
like
the problem.
A testament to the depth of your mania.
I couldn't take really great notes because I was driving, so I just kind of like bulleted it, you know what I mean? So I have to go back over them. But the steps that take you, what did he call it? Goal setting to the now. It's a process of goal setting to the now, and it made me think of Darina, because after that he said something to the effect of, it's like a Russian doll. It's like, and I was like, oh my God, could this be better? So there's the Russian doll giving me the message that I need, like the information that I actually really needed to hear. And that the system is, reminiscent or resembles it's smaller things inside smaller things. And it breaks down right down to the very moment. You know what I mean? From a year to a month to a week to a day, etc. So to the hour, whatever. And the system is really great, and I can't wait to relearn it and actually put it in practice in a better way. But it's just what I needed. It was really great.
Yeah.
So thank you
again. That's awesome. I need to go back and read that. I'm reading so many books right now. Well, listening to. I'm listening to so many books right now. I don't know if I don't know if I'll ever read again. I will, but it'll be fiction.
So yeah. So that's I think that's, isn't that more or less basically what course correction is. Being
Yeah.
able to understand your priorities and purposes and moving toward them. You know what I mean? Moving toward them in a way like bit by bit. First month, year, then, or whatever time block you want to take, but year, month, week, etc.
It's also
What did
about
you say? Meaning, purpose, priority.
what is it?
Meaning, purpose, priority. You talked about meaning, purpose, and priority in that regard. Yeah.
It's also about learning new things and being open. You know, being open to something that maybe you wouldn't have thought before. You know, one of the concepts I'm finding useful is just, I mean, just the idea that, okay, so, well, I guess it's not that, it's pretty obvious, but if you're doing something that's not working, it could be one of two things. Like, are you doing it the way you said you were going to do it and continuously doing it and it's not working and not giving you the desired result, or are you just not doing it? Right? If you're not doing it, go do it. And if you are doing it and it's not working, you have to open up your mind to seeing that it can be done in a different way. And I think that's difficult for some people. Like if it's like, oh, it's not working, and you throw up your hands and you walk away. You know what I mean? Or you can adjust and course correct by opening your mind and finding new routes. Does that make any sense? Or am I just babbling now?
It makes sense to me.
Okay.
I think a lot of that has to do with perspective.
Right.
And you can see things in a new or different or novel way. I mean, that's where we get solutions, right? That's where you can't just keep hitting your head against, unless you're me.
Or me.
In which case you do exactly that and just hit it and keep going. It didn't work the fifth time. Number 6, though. That's the one. I used to plow snow, and I never understood this concept until I was in a really big snow, like the crazy one we got. I think it was 2013. And I didn't understand, as foolish as this is probably going to seem, but I didn't understand, like, being disoriented by a snowstorm and being snowblind, like not being able to get your bearing. I was like, I don't know, 5 miles away from my house. I couldn't figure out where the hell I was. I couldn't, but it was all perspective. Normally, through different eyes, it's obvious. It was easy to see. But when everything was chaotic and swirling and covered in snow, the landscape was different. What I was seeing was different, and my perspective was radically different. I knew the direction in which to go to get where I needed to, but I couldn't get there. I couldn't see them because of the conditions.
So that actually has to do, like you're saying, with the exterior, the outside world, as opposed to something within you that you have to change. Like sometimes a snowstorm comes up, and that's why you have to course correct.
Of course.
Where'd you go?
Of course. I'm right here. Sorry, I had to plug my phone in. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, that's an interesting.
Yeah. So course correction can come from anything. Anything can be the cause. Anything could potentially be a cause, internal or external. But for sure, it's going to be there. Right. For sure, you're going to have to course correct because change. The week before, it was whatever it was, rainy, probably cloudy, maybe full of leaves. No problem. So many weeks later, it was covered in snow, and I couldn't see a bloody thing. So it was a completely different situation. So course correction. I have to change what I'm doing on many levels. I had to change what I was doing.
Yeah,
so
you have to put like a whole new plow on the truck, and sorry, it was a stupid joke.
There was and shovel myself out because I was stuck. What actually happened?
I
got
like
stuck.
This snow blind metaphor has a lot of legs here. There's a lot of different places to go with that. You have to shovel yourself out, right?
Yes. Right. Metaphor. It's all there. It's all the same.
Before you can course correct.
Yes. But even that in itself, well, it's again, stuff happens.
Yeah.
We have to deal with it. Exactly. That day it snowed. The next week it was rainy. Whatever it is, you just, you just course correct. That's all. Keep your purpose, right? Like Gary, Gary Keller was saying, you have those things as your points of reference and your compass, and then you just move from there. You move accordingly. So that's where your priorities come from. That's where your next step comes from. He talked about all of it,
Yep.
thankfully, because I need to hear it a lot more, apparently. Thank you, Dorina, once again. But yes, you were right. So, but anyway, yeah, it totally changed everything. It totally changed and it's so crazy because, like you said, I've read it before, like probably at least twice.
Right. Yeah, same, at least twice. But I got to go back.
But
to
it was
now.
different.
I'm like, yeah, there was a snowstorm, and now it looks different.
That's exactly what yes, that's exactly what happened. Growing pains, right? In this case, but that was the snowstorm. I can't get my bearings. I can't really see. I can't orient myself properly. So I had to find a compass. I had to find something by which to navigate so I could course correct in an appropriate and proper way.
See, I'm telling you,
And
we're gonna
so
get miles from the snowstorm metaphor.
it's good.
It's a good
The
one.
snowstorm
It's
thing
a really
works.
good one. I love it. I love it. All right, cool.
So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but we should do this more often because it's fun. It's more fun to do a Facebook Live with a friend than to do it by yourself.
Excellent. Yeah, it was a pleasure. I don't, me and Facebook Lives, but it's much easier to do. It's totally
easier.
Not,
totally easier.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Thanks, dude.
You're welcome.
See you later.
I don't even know how to get out of this.
I know, right? I'll hit finish and then maybe it'll all be over.
Okay, you go.
All right. Bye.
Have a good night.
Good night.
See you later.